Hi guys, my name is Behnoush and today I'm back to talk about another work of Persian modern literature, a book which is very important in Iran, and it had a great impact on the novelists which came after it and published their work after this book. And this is nothing else than The Prince, written by Houshang Golshiri. So it is honestly one of my favorite, like top three probably favorite book in the whole Persian modern literature. And the reason is because I find it so unique and I just love to talk about it. Before I talk about a story with you, let's jump back a little bit into the history and talk about the time period to have a better understanding of the story. Before the Pahlavi dynasty in Iran, there's another dynasty called Qajar dynasty who were ruled over Iran in about 18th century. The ruling started in about 18th century and it continued until the beginning of 19th century. And it was then overthrown by the father of the former king of Iran, which is Reza Shah. Qajar dynasty ruled over Iran for like about more than 2 centuries, and during their ruling, the provinces and the division in Iran was a little bit different than what we have now. It started from Iran having 5 provinces and those divided into smaller regions. The system of ruling, there was having aristocrats or land owners basically who took control of certain regions. All those regions which were divided were also ruled by an aristocrat, a noble clan, a family. And it was pretty much like the feudal system that also already existed in Europe, but that actually the aristocrats had to pay some taxes to the central government, and with that they had basically almost absolute power in their own region. They were not sort of a unified constitutional law, that the form that we have in modern countries. It was pretty much the rule of that feudal, that landowner in the region. And they could do basically, they owned their subjects, which were the peasants, farmers. Most of the population were farmers at the time, and they could do whatever they wanted. And in some cases they could be very brutal. So the story, now back to the story, it happens in a time period which is basically the demise of the Qajar dynasty. They are already gone. New king has come, and they lost power, they lost lands, they lost many things. The prince, which the main protagonist of the story, most of the story is narrated in by him, is a last heir of a noble family. And let me call it from now on Shazde, because the Shazde is a literal translation of prince. So he's called Shazde Ehtejab, and the book also in Persian, the book is called Shazde Ehtejab as well. We have this third person limited narration with in his mind a stream of consciousness. So he jumps back and forth in between his memories. Not far into the story, you kind of figure out that he's sick and this is the last day of his life. A little bit about the narration. We have, of course, Shazde, who is narrating the story, as I said, third person limited. So we are in his mind, and then we have also 2 more narrators, which is his wife, Fakhronesa, and also his servant, Fakhri. So 3 narratives. And it is very unique. You sometimes see that the narration changes even among paragraphs, or sometimes even in the middle of a paragraph. One sentence is narrated by someone else, and then all of a sudden you notice, the narration is changing. Someone else is is narrating it. We are now in someone else's mind, and this is really it can be confusing at the time, but I started to really appreciate it. And after a while I was just okay, I had to think a little bit when it happened. I had to figure out who is whom and who is narrating it now. But then I got used to it, and I even start to appreciate it. I kind of like this form of like chaotic sort of narration. So it was kind of fun, and in this way, I honestly haven't seen anything like that. Okay. Aside from narration, we have as I said, the Shazde. Shazde Ehtejab is the main protagonist. He is sick, and he is sort of like as I said, jumping back and forth in his memories. There are like a bunch of photos on a shelf, and he's looking at them. And at some point, he just got like, as if he's just jumped into the photo. He started to see the scenes that he's seeing, and he's like repeating, recollecting. It's not like in a chronological order, so it's like also a little bit chaotic. It's like pieces of puzzle that you have to put them together to have like the whole picture and the whole story. But it's really fun because at some point, like, he sees this picture that he's standing beside his father, and he just like goes into that scene and then sees himself. His father is talking to his grandpa, and then another scene is that as he's like standing, he first has met his fiance, like later his wife Fakhrunisa, which is also his cousin, because yeah, that was the basic tradition of the time to marry your cousin, especially among the aristocrat families. All of these scenes are kind of like they seem to be, they feel being separate from each other, but at the end you put them together and you have the whole picture. You have another very important character, which the wife of Shazde, Fakhrunisa. She's, I think, even more important than him in the story, but yeah, she plays a very important role. She's a literate woman, someone who loves to read, and she like wears thick glasses and carries this like book of their ancestors with herself always, and always is like reading passages of that book, or maybe even like going through it in her own mind. I think she knows the passages also by heart. She knows the whole story of the ancestors by heart, and the story is sort of brutal and cruel and bloody because they shed a lot of blood, those people. She is depressed. She like drinks wine in the morning, lunchtime, dinner. She always drinks wine. She's also like getting a little bit sick during the story, and their marriage is like a failure. Their marriage feels like being an unconsummated one, but not in a physical way. It's more of an emotional level, because I feel like the Shazde is trying to like approach her and sort of gain her affections, sometimes in an unhealthy way, and I will come to that, but she is never reciprocating. Like, she cannot, because she is so absorbed and stuck in the past that she cannot just let things go, because the past is just brutal. It's just really cruel. There is one scene, for example, that also Fakhrunisa makes sure to narrate it and to repeat it enough for herself and for the Shazde, where the grandpa goes to his to the house of his half brother and just kills him, like suffocate him, only because the half brother rightfully claimed on some lands that also belong to him. And after that, he also like kills his half brother's children and his wife. So the grandpa was a brutal man who couldn't bear any sort of position. She cannot get rid of it. She cannot go forward. So she's living there, and as a result, also their life gonna be, of course, affected by all this, because she not only like read the passages and just like repeat them in her mind, but also read them for the Shazde, and in sort of a like even like humiliating way says, "Oh, but you don't have this glory of your ancestors. What's wrong with you?" Yeah, in a sort of a joking, humiliating way. And Shazde, I feel like he kinda, as I said, always like sort of in an obsessive way, even wants to have her affection, but he cannot, because of that past that they are both involved. it's not that like only his wife is the one who is like stuck in the past, but kind of Shazde get involved as well. He cannot run away. Maybe he wants, but he cannot. One reason is because his wife Fakhronesa acts like a mirror for him. This is what your ancestors has done, and the other reason is because basically he is also from the same clan, and yeah, he cannot just stop being part of them. He not directly, but sort of indirectly from being in that part of that family, like is maybe you can say his hand is also bloody. Like, I'm not sure that like the open question of the book as well, like what's your responsibility, what are you supposed to do? But his, as I said, his obsessive affection for his wife is always there, and he like acts in an unhealthy way to maybe do something about it, is always unsuccessful. Like he cheats on her with their servant, which actually is a third person who sometimes comes and also narrate the story and like complain about things, of course, rightfully so. So there is no defense of Shazda's behavior and what he's doing, but like it seems like he's doing many of these things to sort of make his wife jealous and like bring her back, like just kind of like awaken some sort of emotion in his wife, which is yeah, unfortunately is a failure. It can never happen because Fakhronesa is his wife living in a different world. We kind of like we kind of became aware of this like affection, and for his wife, maybe obsession, even let's call it obsession, when he after his wife Fakhronesa dies, he just he makes his servant to dress up exactly the way she was dressing up, and like the same hairstyle, and even make the servant Fakhri, which is also that the servant is called Fakhri. Like Fakhri also carry the same book of ancestors and just read some passages for him, those passages that the Fakhronesa was always reading to him. So this like it shows something that isn't like it was such a wasted life, and those people who were like unable to approach each other in a healthy way and like just, you know, talk about the past and maybe solve it. But was it even also possible? It's not only about, of course, their relationship, it's about the demise of a dynasty and everything that comes with it, and it's all about the blood that they shed, it's about their dark past, the things that they did. And the question remains, can you just get rid of it? Can you like erase all the things and just go and live your life happily? Because we are talking about two people from that dynasty, from that clan, who never managed to do that. So I think this is a question that you encounter, and it's really is doing it really masterfully. It's just awaken emotions and feelings in you, not only for the characters, not only for like this wasted life, but also for the past. What about the past? What are we going to do about it? Yeah, so that's all my thoughts about this book. Please let me know in the comments below if you liked it, or you're now like kind of encouraged to read this book. Yeah, just let me know what you think about this video, about any other book, or do you have any suggestion for me? Is there any specific book from your culture maybe that you want me to read and talk about it with you? So just let me know in the comments below whatever you think, and like always, like and subscribe, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.